Go.
Legion M is the world's first fan-owned entertainment company. And what that means is we're an entertainment company in that we make films and television shows and virtual reality and comic books. But what makes us different is the fact that we're the first one in history that's been designed from the ground up to be owned by fans as opposed to corporate investors. And the idea behind it is simple. If you've got an entertainment company that's owned by a large group, a legion of fans, you have a fundamental competitive advantage when your products come to market. When your movie releases, you know there's a built-in audience that's going to come out and they're going to want to see it opening night, and they're going to want to bring their friends and family, and they're going to want to talk about it on social media because it's their movie and they've been involved with it since day one. So our goal, the M with the bar over it, is the Roman numeral for 1 million. Because our long-term goal is to unite 1 million fans as shareholders of Legion M. And we believe that an entertainment company owned by 1 million fans could literally be one of the most influential companies in Hollywood.
How do you pick your films?
That's a great question. There's a lot of different answers to that, but at the end of the day, our community picks a lot of our films, either explicitly or implicitly. I mean, as a manager of the company, my job is to work for you, the shareholders. And so we're constantly developing ways that we can poll our community and ask them to vote on things or get their opinions on things or help them scout, new ideas so that we can leverage that data. Perfect example is last week we released a film called Memory: The Origins of Alien. It's a documentary about the origin story of the movie Alien. It's wonderful. It's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. The reviewer at RogerEbert.com said it was literally the best the best documentary about a film that they had ever seen. So it's a great documentary, but what's really interesting is the story behind how Legion M found them. We went to Sundance earlier this year with the intent to buy the rights to a film. And there were 119 films that we were considering that were kind of on our radar. And these are brand new films, they've never been released before. And so it's a lot of work to figure out, do research on 119 films, even to figure out what you're going to watch during the couple days that you're at Sundance. Yeah. So what we did was we built a game that allowed us to crowdsource it. And our community, all the members of our Legion M community, were able to look at all the different films and rate and evaluate them. We created a game out of it so that you could do it for 5 minutes if you wanted to, or you could do it for a couple hours if you got into it. But at the end of the day, we ended up with over 1 man-year worth of analysis. If you added up all the time that people spent, that went into helping us figure out what are the most interesting films at Sundance. So when we got to Park City, we weren't looking at 119 films, we were looking at maybe 10 or 20 that the Legion was most interested in. Then at Sundance in Park City, we host a lounge on Main Street. So if you're a Legion M member or a Legion M investor, you can come out to Sundance. You got to get your own way to Sundance, we can't pay for that. But we've got a place for you to come out, hang out. We have Leonard Maltin doing celebrity interviews. Anyway, and you can go watch the films, right? Because the only place these films play is at Sundance. You can go watch them and file your scouting reports. And that's how we determine, yeah, this one actually is a really good movie. Or, maybe this was a great idea that didn't pan out. Or even this is something you wouldn't have thought was amazing, but it's amazing. And so it's the combination of all that data, the thousands of people that were participating from home and all the people that were in Park City with Legion M gave us data, and based on that data, we partnered with a company called Screen Media. We bought the distribution rights to this film, and when we released it last week, it was literally the first time in history that fans had come together to find and release a film from Sundance.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what's amazing is, it gives our investors a direct voice in what Legion M is doing, but just as importantly, it allows us to leverage the wisdom of the crowd. Like, I've got my opinion, and you've got your opinion, but if you can get thousands of people's opinion, it's way smarter than you or I or anybody. And so that's really what we see as the core superpower of Legion M, is the fact that we're the only company on the planet that is owned by a large, passionate base of fans, and we think there's lots of different ways that makes us a better company.
Now, how does someone become a member or an owner, or whatever? What do you call it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first and foremost, you can join Legion M as a member, which is 100% free. There's no cost or obligation. It makes you eligible for a lot of Legion M perks. Like, you can come to our lounge at Sundance. We do a lot of things at Comic-Con. We had a house party with Stan Lee, that our members were invited to.
I came to Comic-Con.
To the lounge in San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. So you can join for free. That gets you as part of the community. You get an invitation to the members-only Facebook group, so you can meet other people. You can join the Film Scout program. You're eligible for all these perks. And if you want to invest, you can learn more about it. We're using a funding portal called WeFunder, which is kind of like Kickstarter, but for equity crowdfunded companies like Legion M. Like, we're very different. When you back a project on Kickstarter, you're donating to a project in exchange for some perks or a pre-sale. When you back Legion M, you are literally investing and buying stock in the company. So it's like if you could go back in time and invest in Walt Disney Studios back when it was Walt and Roy and they were making black and white short cartoons, like, that's really kind of the way to think about it. And if we're successful, if we had even a tiny fraction of the success that Walt and Roy had, you can make money as an investor. You could potentially make a lot of money. And so that's what, but there's all sorts of information about how to invest. It's a minimum $100 investment. We tell people up front it's a very risky investment because we're startup companies. And startup companies are inherently risky. Most of them fail. But the ones that succeed can go on and change the world. And if you look at any great company, whether it's Disney, Facebook, Tesla, it all starts with entrepreneurs and investors that are willing to take a risk on something new that's never been done before.
So tell me again, where would people go to find that information?
LegionM.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's super easy. There's links there on our website to everywhere else. You can also find us on social media. It's Legion M Official, and that's across everything.
Do you have any other films coming out from Legion M?
Well, we've got the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which is coming out next week. That's Kevin Smith's new film. Yeah. We've known Kevin Smith for years. We did a lot of stuff with Kevin Smith and Stan Lee back before Stan Lee passed away. And so when we found out that he was making this movie and there was a chance for us to invest in it, we jumped at the opportunity. So if you're an investor in Legion M, you are literally an investor in Kevin Smith and the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And so because we are an investor in that, we are able to get all sorts of perks. Our members and investors were given priority to be extras in the film. So, there's a long line of people that want to be an extra in a Kevin Smith film, but if you were with Legion M, it got you to the front of that line. We did some set visits that Kevin gave us, where we flew them out and they got a chance to meet Kevin and watch him direct. And then he surprised him by giving him a walk-on role in the film. So when you watch the movie, it comes out next week. It's a 2-night only special event, Fathom special event on Tuesday and Thursday, October 15th and 17th. But you'll see there are literally dozens of Legion M members in that film.
Okay. And do they show both films or just the one film?
The one on Tuesday night is just the new one, and Kevin is doing a live introduction that night. Okay. I mean, it's a Fathom event, so he'll do it live on the East Coast, and then it's pre-recorded for all the other time zones. But then on Thursday, October 17th, it's actually a double feature, and I think it's Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back first, and then they'll do the Jay and Silent Bob reboot as the second film.
Have you seen the film?
I have. Well, I saw a rough cut of it.
Ah, okay.
Kevin showed us a rough cut of it. It's fantastic. It's everything you would expect and hope for in a Jay and Silent Bob film, meaning that it is like full of cameos, like full of cameos. It's got all the, you know, crude junior high school humor that you would expect, you know, some really amazingly funny things and some stupid things and all that sort of like hijinks. But it also, you know, Kevin is an entirely different person now. You know, he says I'm 40 years old. I'm a grown-ass man. And when you see the film, it actually reminds you what an amazing filmmaker and storyteller, because it's a lot more than just the silly hijinks. There's a real heart to it, and I think it's actually a fantastic movie. I think anybody who is a Kevin Smith fan is going to be delighted with this film.
Cool. Well, just wrapping up, anything you want to leave us with about Legion M?
No, I mean, all I would say is that, you know, Legion M is about fans coming together to take ownership of Hollywood. And if you think about it, entertainment is a multi-trillion-dollar global industry. And at the end of the day, it's entirely fueled by our eyeballs and our wallets as the fans.
Exactly.
And individually, any one of us is just a consumer. There's nothing that we can do. But when we unite, we literally have the power to shape the future of Hollywood. And that's what Legion M is. Whether you join as a free member or you decide that you want to invest and own a piece of it, it is about fans coming together to have a voice, to take ownership, and change the world.
Very cool. Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate meeting you. And
thank you for having me on the show.
And to all you people who wanted to know about Legion M, now you know.
Now you know.